So what would be a list of goals that we would have as parents for our kids in youth sports that would be beyond, separate from winning and losing? Um, One of the first ones in the front of my mind has to do with exercise and a love for fitness or sports. There will be a number of kids that go through the youth sports system that perhaps won't play beyond maybe middle school time, sixth, seventh, eighth grade. They may stop going out for sports perhaps, but to have it as a goal for all the kids involved in pre-middle school, grade school, would be for them all to have a positive spin, a positive feel about exercise, about sports, about fitness. One that would go beyond their years of playing in sport for their school or otherwise. They may even just having a couple of experiences playing a few different sports as a young person can cause them to have a positive outlook on athletics, so as they don't become young adults or adults that just see that they have to go work out, to stay in shape. That a coworker might ask them to participate in a recreational sports activity through their work, or at a local YMCA that they would be interested in doing because there's something they can lean on in their past that's been positive. That maybe sounds a little bit like the participation trophy angle. However, if we're all looking at the young experience through that lens of we want them all to get a little bit of something positive from this, I don't think that's bad. This isn't a zero-sum game. It doesn't mean that you have to eliminate or ignore all competitive aspects of youth sports. The competition should still be there. The winning and losing should still be a part of the equation, but not so much that we take away or have to stomp all over everyone in our quest for wins. To have the perspective that, as a coach, that you're trying to frame it in a way that they all step away from their experience with at the very least, they can look back on the experience fondly, whatever that might look like. Other individual goals, they can learn about ownership in their effort. They can learn about that they may find that they have another gear that they don't know about. They may think that they're working hard, but to challenge the kids to understand how far they can push themselves effort-wise, there's some value in that. Another one that I think is really important is a child can learn about, they can grow in their determination, or you could say heart. It's like I had a coach once that said that I wasn't playing with heart. And I remember I was young enough, I didn't really understand what that meant, to play with heart. As far as I knew, I was playing as hard as I could. I gave everything, in every game. So I didn't understand what that meant. Some kids understand that earlier than others, but that ownership in the outcome, not just that you're giving full effort, but that the determination to succeed. And that, to me, how you can foster that is every kid needs to understand that you have to have confidence in your ability, but more importantly, you have to have confidence in your ability to get better. So no matter what you're faced with, no matter what circumstance or what game you might play in that you've lost by a lot or by a little, or because you've made mistakes, you always have to understand that you can go back to practice and you have the ability to get better. I think that one of the big problems is that we're all so afraid of losing because we've identified or attached losing a game to somehow being a reflection of who we are. that you're then a loser because you've lost, rather than the game is set up for one team to win and one team to lose. So every time out, you're going out trying to win. That's the object. However, there's a quote, I think it's Bill Bradley. He said, defeat has a richness of experience all its own. There's so much to be gained from that conflict of giving everything you have. That's the other thing. I feel like I think kids nowadays may be afraid to give everything, to lay it all out there. Because if you lay it all out there and you try your hardest and you lose, it seems that then that it's harder to accept the loss when you've tried all the way, to your fullest extent. But we need to have kids understand that you have to keep doing that. You put it all out there, you give it everything you have, and it's okay. It's okay that you lose, and participation trophies, and everybody gets a ribbon, and let's all hug each other. But what I'm saying is that it's okay if you put it all out there and you lose. You have to understand that you honor your opponent, you shake their hand, you tell them they played a good game, but you don't have to internalize it like somehow you're a failure because you've lost. Go back to practice and you get better. I mean, every youth player should understand that when they play, they shouldn't have to be worried that their parents or their coaches or anyone else is putting any excess pressure on them to win. Their drive to win should come from within themselves. That determination within themselves. And then when it doesn't work out, it's the coach's responsibility to make sure that they're staying level-headed enough to know that it's okay that they tried their hardest. The other team came out on top, but now you go back to practice, you get better. I think that there are a lot of times that if parents could have it their way, their kid would win all their games. I mean, it's like you don't want to see your kid fall down and skin their knee. Nobody wants that. Nobody thinks, I can't wait for that to happen. But it's part of the process of learning how to navigate sports, is winning and losing. If you set your kid up to be on the best team and they win all the time, eventually they're going to hit the point where they're going to start losing, and who knows whether they'll be ready for that or not.